Good evening. Turn my volume up real quick. Do a quick update. Come on in, everybody. On live freight broker one-on-one Q&A. Answer some questions. Do some updates, and see what's going on. This past class was canceled Friday due to the remnants of Hurricane Ian, which turned into a tropical storm as it moved further up northeast seaboard. We lost power briefly, but right now I just want to do any questions, Q&A for freight broker, not dispatcher. This is the freight broker one-on-one channel. So welcome those coming in. Give you guys a little bit of time. Q&A. Now go to a dispatcher session as well. So any questions you have as it pertains to freight brokering, okay. Also, too, those of you who are subscribers, there is the month of October 1st through October 31st. We're having the 20% off special to enroll in freight broker training. So if you are interested in getting some freight broker training, you can come in at our prices are already the lowest prices out here, but we are offering 20% with the promo code trick or treat. So, okay, come in there, go to the website. I believe I put the link on here. I'll do it again. So, right. It's waiting for some Q&A. We have 7 in here now. No one questions. Well, this is going to be a short Q&A session then. Want to make up for Friday's canceled live training with our members, our students, I should say, who are enrolled in the course, but now give a chance to come in and ask some questions or take questions, I should say, from the you guys who are the subscribers. So, okay. So what do you got? I'm sure you got some questions. Those of you who are applying for your operating authority as a freight broker, those of you who are trying to start a company, a business, and get into freight brokering, maybe you're working on your business plan. Maybe you're trying to get your LLC EIN. Maybe you are submitting your OP1 form with the FMCSA. Maybe you are dealing with customers and shippers. Maybe you are dealing with the carriers. Somewhere in the process, you may have a question. Okay, so now is the time. And I figure I'll probably talk for about 10 minutes unless there's a question that's asked. If there's not a question that's asked by 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and shut this one down and go over to the dispatcher side and take questions over there as well. So you guys are a little bit more, I don't want to say advanced, but a little bit more forward facing than the dispatcher ones. You have more responsibilities, you have more expenses when you have to apply for a freight broker. The dispatchers do not. So you have to go through applying for your OP1, your operating authority as a freight broker of property. You also have to apply for your bond, your $75,000, either a surety bond, which is the BMC 84, or the trust fund, which is the BMC 85. One or the other, not both. So you will select your bond company. Your bond company will qualify you based off of several qualifiers, but one of the main ones, of course, will be your credit, right? And then you have to do a BOC3, UCR, and supplemental insurance if you decide to get that. But these are the things that are required as a freight broker. Once your authority becomes active, then you can submit or start the process of going after customers, shippers. distributors, manufacturers, those individuals who are going to have a need to have their products that they make or manufactured transported from their facility to their customers, which are the receiving facilities. Okay. And you are the middle person in that process as a freight broker. You are the person who arranges for the transportation and the movement of the freight. That is your job. You are a logistics provider, a freight broker, just like someone who brokers real estate or someone who brokers insurance. You are the middle person in your space of brokering, which is freight, goods, right? Things that are um, made, manufactured, produced, things of that nature. So, what is the process in that? Well, you got to get a customer to agree with you to move their freight. So, you would have to either bid on their particular lanes that they're hauling in, a lane being where the load picks up and where it delivers to, or you would give some kind of quote, a rate quote or lane bid, accept a tender, a load tender, and then now you're responsible for moving that freight. How do you move the freight? Well, once you get the customer, you have a contract with them with your broker customer or broker shipper agreement. Then you have to get a motor carrier to transport what you have gotten under agreement with the shipper. So that is your responsibility as well. You have to contract with the motor carrier as well, which is the broker carrier agreement. So on one side, so you have two customers in your process as a freight broker. You have two individuals, two separate entities that you are dealing with when you are brokering freight. You have to get the freight, you have to procure the freight from the customers, the shippers, the manufacturers, the distributors. And then you have to transport that freight of your customers via a motor carrier, a trucking company, or an owner operator. In both cases with those customers, you need to have some kind of contract or agreement with them. Broker shipper agreement and broker carrier agreement. These are the different packet types. Your broker shipper packet contains your broker carrier agreement and other documents that the shipper needs to vet you. And then your broker carrier agreement your broker carrier packet contains the broker carrier agreement plus other documents that you would need from the carrier, the owner, operator, the truck driver, so that you, the broker, can vet them. So it's a process, and there's a lot of intermovable parts in that. Once you get the workflow of it down a few times, then you'll be able to tender or move or accept loads and start generating trust with your customers. They may give you, let's say, 4 or 5 loads a month or a week or every 2 weeks in order to vet you to see how you transport their freight. And then from there, as you prove yourself as a broker by getting carriers to move those loads on time and things like that, then they will open up a number of loads for you because you've proven yourself as a freight broker by supplying them with trustworthy and ideal carriers to do so. They pick up on time, they transport safely, they deliver on time. These are the things that shippers look for in brokers when they decide to utilize freight brokers to move their freight. Sometimes shippers also utilize motor carriers without brokers. They go directly to the trucking companies, to the carriers, to the owner operators without using a freight broker. But if you are fortunate enough to work with a shipper who deals with freight brokers, in addition to motor carriers, then you have the opportunity to get in the middle of that process, because whether the shipper deals with a broker or deals with the motor carrier directly, the freight still has a need to be moved from their shipping facility to their customers' receiving facility. And they are trying to save costs on doing that too, whether they can do it through a freight broker or whether they can do it through a motor carrier, truck driver, owner operator directly. So hopefully that added some little insight. So I said in about 10 minutes, if there are no questions, wanted to come on and give a brief live just to see if there were any questions. And we have a few people in here, but no one has a question. So with that, I will bid you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, good night. And I will get on the dispatcher side to do the same thing.